Okay, how many of you have started looking at that paper? Probably just number 1 and 2, because those are the simplest types of problems. Maybe yes, maybe no. But what we wanted to do is we had started practice problem number 1 on page 318, and when we talk about that, what is the two types of yields that we refer to when calculating the percent yield? Okay, so how do you know what the difference is? Yep. Yeah, so your theoretical yield is what you are penciling out, or on pencil and paper, you calculate what you theoretically should come up with. So as a quick review, we've got that carbon monoxide plus H2, and that gives us our CH3OH. Okay, I believe that's correct. And then we've got A2 here. Okay, so it goes on to say if 75 grams of carbon monoxide reacts, okay, to produce our methanol, reacts to produce 68.4 grams. 68.40. And this is where we left off with yesterday. Okay? So what is the percent yield? So with those two numbers, if we're talking about a percent yield, that means we are making something as well. So what is it that's significant about that 68.4? Is that where we are starting with our calculations? Well, what number do we start with, do you think? 75 or 68.4? Trying to find the percent yield and a theoretical yield, yes. Yes. The reason being is just human nature. Sometimes we see this. Say, oh, we got 68.4 and we got 75. That's pretty simple. But is that the correct way to look at that? No. It's because 68.4 grams of this was actually produced. This 75 is referring to carbon monoxide. Obviously, you're looking at two totally different compounds. So, therefore, the 68 can stay, and then on pencil and paper, we need to calculate what theoretically we should come up with. So, we take our 75 grams of carbon monoxide, and since we see something in grams, we're going to change it to what? Okay, so for every mole of carbon monoxide, how many grams do you get? Okay. Yes, the theoretical yield. So we're changing grams of carbon monoxide into grams of what? Methanol. Yes. Yes. That's what we're looking for. So, and when we do these, why is it a good idea to always write your labels in there? Right. After you get your text message or Snapchat or whatever that is, and pigeon flies in. You know, that's a very vague term. It's really a rock dove. Well, it's a member of the dove family. Yeah. So it's a kind of dove, really. Well, yeah, true. Yep. Okay. Yeah, no. Okay, so now we've got these canceled. Remember, we're looking for grams of this because this is what was actually produced. Theoretically, we need to find out how much we should make. And now we're in moles of carbon monoxide. This next step is so important because it allows us to change the carbon monoxide to what? To methanol. So for every mole of carbon monoxide, we get a mole of, I'm just going to put MT, okay? Favorite substance. You know why? You take your index finger and you can point it at your head like this and say the two letters, M and T. Well, take your index finger and go like this and say that, M and T. That's a knee slapper, isn't it?
You didn't get it. Yes, yes, I did. I know that was beautiful.
Okay.
Okay.
We've got our mole ratio. Okay. So we need to go back to our reaction. Is anything changing? No, because we already have ones in front of these. We're in moles of methane now. So for every mole of methane, how many grams of methane do you get?
Let's see.
How about 32?
Yeah. 32.04.
Okay. Okay, so we're now in grams of methane, which we want, and we're supposed to get somewhere along the lines of 79.7%. Now, when you calculate this out, how many grams of methane do we produce? Okay, so 85 point what? So this was our actual yield from the problem. On pencil and paper, we calculated our theoretical yield, and then we divide them out. Okay, you get 78%, 79%, pretty close to 80.
Yeah.
Are you just saying that?
0.7975.
Yep, that would be correct. Okay, so on a percent yield, you have to start with a reactant, okay? And you look to see what was actually produced, and then on pencil and paper, theoretically, calculate how much you should make to get your percent yield then. Yes. Yep. We want the percentage. Yes. And if you write 0.79, I guess that's not technically wrong, but I'd rather have it as 79%. But it gives you a general idea of what direction to be looking for. Okay. Then what we want to do is, it's your time to work on this, and we'll work on number 10 tomorrow, because that is a very long and lengthy problem. And you're probably not going to have enough room on that paper to solve for that. So don't worry about number 10. We'll work on that together. So for the recording, we'll stop there for today. And, or I should say unless, well, we can address that at a later time. So we'll pick up with this tomorrow.